Let's make sure we're in focus. Okay, I'm going to share with you guys my top picks, my top nail polish picks for the spring. I went through my spring seasonal rack and pulled out polishes that I'm gravitating towards. A lot of my decisions were also based on new releases like from OPI, China Glaze, Essie, Orly. I always take a look at their lineups and see what's trending there, but I also went ahead and looked online and searched top trends for, or top nail polish trends for spring 2020. There was a couple of websites which I will link down below, and they had, you know, their favorites, and there was other websites, but these were my two favorites. I really liked the options that they had available. So I did a little bit of shop my stash based on that. There's also one polish from, actually two polishes from spring collections, one from Essie, one from Orly, because I do get the color pass. But everything else is pretty much shop my stash or from previous collections. I'm gonna get started with this Bubblicious gum kind of pink from Morgan Taylor. This is so beautiful, and you may remember this from the Paint Your Nails With Me video that I recently did. This is the polish that I applied in that video. I actually applied it onto fake nails, but you guys will see swatches of this on natural nails as well. So this is a cream and it takes 3 coats. For a couple of my nails, because I have major ridges going on my middle finger and my ring finger, it did require a 4th coat, which is but that's only because it has the ridges, and quite frankly this one has that kind of formula that dries more to a demi matte finish, so it does dry rather quickly. So if a polish is ever going to take 3 or 4 coats, I would rather it have this kind of formula, because each layer doesn't take a long time to dry, so each layer isn't torture, basically just waiting around for it to dry. So Morgan Taylor Look At You Pink-achu is a pick for me. This color is really, really beautiful. Ready to Rave from China Glaze is another one. This is more of a coral, but it's like a salmon kind of color as well. It's really, really beautiful. It's been a while since I've actually pulled this guy. This one takes 3 coats for full opacity, and it has a bit more of a squishy look on the nails, which I think is really beautiful. Again, another one that has that kind of formula that dries to more of a demi matte finish, so each layer does dry significantly quick. The one that I have on my nails right now is another one from China Glaze. I love this color. Look at this color. It's so dang beautiful. And funny enough, when I initially purchased this polish, which was now a couple of years ago now, I want to say maybe 2 years ago, I wasn't a big fan of it, but last year I put it on and fell completely in love with it. Not only is the color really beautiful, but the formula is equally as beautiful. It only takes 2 coats for full opacity. It's such an easy application, although it's this kind of color, and it also has the thinner brush, but it's still very easy to apply on the nails, and the formula is just really, really easy to work with. So huge fan of the look at this color. It's so freaking beautiful. A mint color from NARS. This is called Thesos. This one has a cream formulation, and it's another one that takes 3 coats for full opacity. Again, because I have ridges on my nails, a couple of nails needed an additional coat, but it is another one that dries more to a demi matte finish. So again, it dries very, very quickly. This one, it's a cream and it has a ton of white in it, and it almost looks a little bit chalky, but in a good way, not a bad way. I think this color is just really beautiful. I have another one though from I think it's from OPI. I actually have it on my spring seasonal rack, but that one leans a little bit more yellow to where this one, although it leans a little green, it also has a little bit of blue in it. It's really, really beautiful. One of the first Essies I'm going to mention in this video, because I have quite a bit of Essies to mention in this video, which is kind of funny because I never used to be such a big Essie fan. I did have my favorites from them, but I did avoid them for a really long time. This one here is from the Flying Solo collection from this year. This is called One Way for One, and by far this is one of my favorites from that collection. It's such a beautiful color. This is more of a medium tone pink, and it has a very fine gold kind of dusting, like a little pearl running through it that is noticeable on the nails. And for me, this one takes 2 coats. An old favorite and a repurchase for me. I repurchased this either beginning of the year or end of last year. I can't remember now. But this is Ginza. This used to be a staple for spring and summer for me years ago, and it's been maybe 2 or at least 3 years since I've owned this polish, but I have finished multiple bottles of this in previous years. This is one of those polishes that I have purchased and given away to people because I think It's so beautiful. Everyone should experience Ginza. It's such a beautiful, very soft purple color. It does have a lot of white in it, and you can see it up against my sweater. You can see the purple here. It's really, really beautiful. And from what I remember from older bottles, it used to take 3 coats, but when I applied this to swatch it, it took only 2 coats. So I don't know if they've improved on the formula. I'm not really sure. It's not the brush, because this has the old Essie brush, and it only took 2 coats. It was such an easy application, and just such a beautiful, it's a beautiful color, and it has a beautiful formula. So it's always been a favorite, and it continues to be a favorite. From OPI, I have Positive Vibes Only. This one came out last year. I can't remember what collection this came out of, and this is very reminiscent to a Morgan Taylor polish that I wore last year and fell completely in love. So Positive Vibes Only has more of a, it's not a cream, it's a little bit juicy as well, has a bit of a curly formulation. So it does apply, when you're applying it, it looks like it's going to be glossy, but it does dry to more of a demi matte finish. But once you add the top coat, it looks a little bit more squishy. As again, really good formula. 3 coats for full opacity for this one. And this color, actually, I pulled it out because I think I saw a very similar color. It was either in the OPI or the China Glaze collection. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it reminded me that I had this one, and I think this is an untried for me, so I wanted to pull it out and wear it this spring. Check Your Baggage from Essie is from the Flying Solo collection that came out earlier in the year. I did buy 7 out of the 9 polishes from that collection. I did do a review on that, so I'll link it up in the cards. This is another one very similar to One Way for One. That was one of my favorites from that collection. Really love this colored yellow. I don't have very many yellows. I have this one now, and then I have one from OPI that I tend to reserve for the fall, and I have a pastel yellow from the Maybelline collection, which they no longer make, so it's really, really old. Point is that this one is really, really beautiful. Really good formula. Very, very similar to a lot of the yellows. It takes 3 coats, but a very easy application, and such a beautiful color. From the spring collection from Essie, this is the only one that I bought from this recent release. This is called Make a Splash, and I did a Shop My Stash video. If you're not familiar with those kind of videos, what I tend to do is I look at new releases, let's say the Essie collection for instance, and I shop my stash to try to dupe their polishes or whatever lineup they have. And in that video I mentioned Cinderella as my dupe for this polish, and someone had mentioned that in reality this polish is gray, not a baby blue like Essie described on their website. So it sparked an interest in me, and when I went to the store and looked at this polish, I think it looks more gray in store with the lighting that they have in store than it does in person. In person it still has, I can still see a little bit of the gray, or quite a bit of the gray, but I do see that it looks like a baby blue. Let's see, let's put it there. And then it has that really beautiful blue shimmer. Do you see that? Oh my god, that's really, really beautiful. Really good formula for this one. If I remember correctly, I think it only took a couple coats for full opacity. And the little shimmer in here is visible on the nails. Another one from Essie, Souls on Fire. This came out last year in Summer's collection. And I pulled this guy because I think there's a peach in the Essie collection. And there's, I want to say that I've seen it in a different collection, or I saw it on one of the trending sites. I can't remember. Point is that I pulled this guy out. So Souls on Fire has a cream formulation, and it requires 3 coats, and it's a really beautiful color. And then lastly, I have Orly's In the Groove. I'm obsessed with colors like these at the moment. So In the Groove is more of a chocolate brown. It does have quite a bit of red in it, but it looks so decadent on the nails. It's so beautiful. I do have a couple other options. I have Don't Be Chocolat from the Essie Valentine's Day collection this year. This one, super awesome formula, by the way. 2 coats for this one. Again, another one that looks amazing on the nails. And then a much older one. I don't know how old this is, but I know I've had it for a while. This is Totally Toffee from Revlon. It doesn't have as much red in it, but it still looks so delicious on the nails. It's really beautiful, and another one that takes 2 coats. So I'll have, I'll put up the swatches for these 2 guys up on the screen. And if you guys have them, you know, pull them out. It's just a really good reminder. So anyways, that's the last one, In the Groove. And that is everything, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.